is, says he, not to have a head when a body was at worst. And here we have a fine long journey before us to the King of Greek's palace. The worst luck now, the same always. Here, get on my tail, and we'll be making the road shorter. So he sat on the fox's tail, and swift as thought they went. The wind that was before them they would overtake it. The wind that was behind them would not overtake them. And in the evening they were eating their bread and cold meat in the wood near the castle. Now, says the fox, when they were done, I'll go before you to make things easy. Follow me in a quarter of an hour. Don't let Princess Goldenlocks touch the jambs of the doors with her hands, or hair, or clothes. And if you're asking any favor, mind how you answer. Once she's outside the door, no one can take it from you. Into the palace walked the boy at the proper time. And there were the score, and the dozen, and the half-dozen, and the 3 guards all standing up or leaning on their arms, and all dead asleep. And in the farthest room of all was the Princess Goldenlocks, as lovely as Venus herself. She was asleep in one chair, and her father, the King of Greek, in another. He stood before her for ever so long with the love sinking deeper into his heart every minute, till at last he went down on one knee, and took her darling white hand in his hand, and kissed it. When she opened her eyes, she was a little frightened, but I believe not very angry, for the boy, as I call him, was a fine handsome young fellow, and all the respect and love that ever you could think of was in his face. She asked him what he wanted, and he stammered, and blushed, and began her story 6 times, before she understood it. And would you give me up to that ugly black king of Morocco? Says she. I am obliged to do so, says he, by prohibitions, and restrictions, and death, and destruction, but I'll have his life and free you, or lose my own. If I can't get you for my wife, my days on the earth will be short. Well, says she, let me take leave of my father at any rate. Ah, I can't do that, says he, or they'd all waken, and myself will be put to death, or sent to some task worse than any I got yet. But she asked leave at any rate to kiss the old man, that wouldn't waken him, and then she'd go. How could he refuse her? And his heart tied up in every curl of her hair. But, bedad, the moment her lips touched her father's, he let a cry, and every one of the score, the dozen guards woke up, and clashed their arms, and were going to make gibbets of the foolish boy. But the king ordered them to hold their hands, till he'd be incensed of what it was all about, and when he heard the boy's story he gave him a chance for his life. There is, says he, the great heap of clay in front of the palace, that won't let the sun shine on the walls in the middle of summer. Everyone that ever worked at it found 2 shovelfuls added to it for every one they threw away. Remove it, and I'll let my daughter go with you. If you're the man I suspect you to be, I think she'll be in no danger of being wife to the yellow mulot. Early next morning was the boy tackled to his work, and for every shovelful he flung away 2 came back on him. And at last he could hardly get out of the heap that gathered around him. Well, the poor fellow scrambled out some way, and sat down on his sod, and he'd have cried only for the shame of it. He began it in ever so many places, and one was still worse than the other. And in the heel of the evening, when he was sitting with his head between his hands, who should be standing before him but the fox? Well, my poor fellow, says he, you're low enough, go in. I won't say anything to add to your trouble. Take your supper and your rest. Tomorrow will be a new day. How is the work going off? Says the king, when they were at supper. The Greek princess. Faith, your majesty, says the poor boy, it's not going off, but coming on it is. I suppose you'll have the trouble of digging me out at sunset tomorrow, and waking me,